Hello, my name is FRANCESFOX, and I am a trained remote viewer, and all my psychic abilities have been trained since I was a child, a small child. I lived in Tibet. I say it for a year. It could have been 6 months. I have no way of knowing. Um, and I have had many very abusive experiences that were done purposefully in order to force me as a child to go deep into my mind and access other dimensions, but also skills. And I bring those to the table now. We choose our lives. And if our lives have been very difficult, then we have chosen a difficult mission. If our childhood was traumatic before we were born, we asked the people that abused us to do certain things in order to push us in certain ways to position us for what is happening today, which is mission. Today, if you're not aligned with the reason why you chose to be born in this incarnation, it would be very difficult for you to be happy. It's too crazy. Other incarnations, you can float, you can decide you want to achieve a certain thing or have a certain relationship, but it's all building up to now. So we've been getting together for several weeks now, and I have gotten into the habit of sketching, and I decided to sketch the collective mind of the people that are watching this event, not necessarily now, but that will be watching it. And basically, it's depression. The mind, these are the channels of your mind that create reality. We're all very depressed. And I will sketch it throughout this get together and show you how different your instrument for creation, which is your mind, how different it is as you do the mantras, or I give you information that perhaps makes sense. I want to start by explaining what I have been able to piece together. We really never paid enough attention. I'm not Christian, I'm not Catholic, I'm not pushing any religion. I'm not Christian, I'm not Catholic, I'm not Buddhist. I access information, and if it's valid, then it's valid information. It doesn't really matter where it came from. It really doesn't matter where it came from. So here we have Christ with a crown of thorns. And did anybody ever question that? Because the explanations I'm finding in biblical references are not really satisfactory. But look at this. That crown of thorns has to do with being a king with a crown. But when you get it in Jesus Christ, it is blocked and dangerous to get there and creating pain and blood. Those are droplets of blood, but it's a black and white photograph. So what am I getting to? Somebody doesn't want us to access the third eye. Lots of people are putting out disinformation on the third eye. Why is it on the dollar bill? That's a conspiracy. It must mean something terrible. Why do they have that graphic? Why do they use that symbol? It's the symbol for the third eye, which is where our wisdom is, which is where our ability to see everything in the past, present, and future for everyone lies. I think Carl Jung was a person that said we all have that ability. It's there in the third eye. It also, we find out, is the home of superpowers, which basically is human potential taken to the max. And then we're warned against it. This is conspiracy. This is bad. This is for control. No. The fact that you don't actively seek to open up your third eye is because you've been controlled and been made to be afraid of your own third eye. And in the Bible, and I don't have the reference here, it says, when thy two eyes become one, the kingdom is yours, something like that. Well, the two eyes become one is that third eye in the center. So we're going to spend a lot of time developing that. And also, when we did the chat yesterday in Spanish at 8:15, we went inside the pyramids that we were able to visualize and create in Texas in order to protect Texas from whatever it is that caused Texas to have eclipses that created an X over it. And we went into it. And what I saw, which is what the Mayans had left for us at this time, the Mayans left information because they knew planet Earth would be at this point at this time. And they had to hide the information because the conquistadores would come in and burn down everything that was culture, etc. They hid it inside pyramids. What I saw, and we're going to go back again this weekend, what I saw with remote viewing was on the wall, and there's a lot of information in there. There was, the parents had a beaming third eye, as if you are going to be in a cave and you have that lamp. Well, I guess maybe people think that life on planet Earth is like being in a dark cave. They have this lamp that's beaming light. And even the children had that. And the example that was there that was left for us to learn from was a family living very simply. And they all went about their way. And the child in the family was able to perceive that there was going to be danger for the family, inform the family, and everybody accepted it. Why would he lie? And what they did, they took some belongings, they went and they hid. And yes, some people came in, maybe they would have killed them, we don't know, taking things, but the family wasn't there. They were protected from danger. And when the bad people left, the family came back. All of that preventing of a horrifying event that could have been the death of them was prevented by a respect for the information that your third eye gives you. That was last night. I haven't been able to fully digest it, but the truth of the matter is the future is elastic and plastic. I coined that phrase because it is, because if not, we could just sit here waiting for the future to come because it's already decided. No, it's elastic and plastic, and prophecy is to let you know where you're going to end up if you stay on this path. So having information along the way is really important so that you can make changes. And in terms of my training in remote viewing, if it was an important situation, it wasn't just one person that would remote view it, it would be 3 people. Because each of us sees things, even through remote viewing, and the information is incredibly accurate. You see it through a lens. I would see it through my lens, and 2 other people would see it through their lens. But if you put the 3 together, you have very accurate information. I wasn't allowed to look at the newspapers or to read magazines or to see TV for decades. And I realized that when I was young, at one point when I could actually think, I realized that I was watching TV, like my bed was here, my TV was here, and here on the side was, I had a bureau where I put on my makeup, and there was a mirror there. So I'd be on my bed and I'd look in the mirror there and I could see the TV. So I technically was not breaking any rules. I was not watching the TV. I was looking at a mirror that was reflecting the TV. That's how strict it was. Because when you have information, what you see, even in your third eye, can be distorted through a lens that you have of previous information. And that's a major part of the training, to get out of your own way of what you've been taught, what you believed, what was sold to you, what you were required to believe, what they taught you in school, what you learned by witnessing traumas. You couldn't be there. So you could not read, as a remote viewer, any situation or country that you were involved in. I was not allowed to read anything in the Caribbean. Well, I'm half Cuban, that makes sense. And even as an adult, when I work with people, there's certain things that when they ask me a question about, even though I tell them I don't do future, tell me what you want and let's figure out why you don't have it so that you can create the reality that you want. But before I was able to understand that that's how I could help people, I would actually read for them what I would see in the future, telling them that the future is elastic and plastic. And I noticed that there were a couple of areas in which my accuracy rate really dropped dramatically, mainly having to do with relationships, sexual relationships. And what I learned was that when it comes to those relationships, we lie so much Yes, I love that person, but the truth of the matter is too much work. You know what? Let me just stay with this girlfriend, or let me look for somebody else who's easier, even though that's the person that I love. I would read it. You're the person that he loves, she loves. I mean, isn't it obvious? You're going to be together. No, not obvious. So even as you develop your third eye, you need to know that there are filters and they can mess you up. So you need to find out where your weaknesses are. Wherever it is that you're not that successful in your life, chances are you will have a weakness having to do with psychic skills, having to do with reading. So what are we going to do today? We're going to go ahead and first address what could stop you from being all that you can be, having to do with creating the reality of what we're going to focus on, which is opening a third eye. Because apparently that's what the Mayans think we need to know now. We need to do now. We need to be an expert in now. According to the Bible, we reach the kingdom of heaven when the two eyes become one. Let's pay some attention to that. Let's work on that. Being it that there's nothing else interesting to work on, because we are not going to exhaust ourselves trying to force peace when everybody wants war. It's almost impossible. We can do our best, but the truth of the matter is the dolphins have said we need to focus on ourselves. So assess yourself from 1 to 10. Where are you at? 1 is you want to slit your wrists. You're so miserable. 10 is you feel great. If you were 10, you wouldn't be here. So, and then let's look at the gold dress, which is a great way to assess where you're at. How is this dress? It's white and gold and it's bright. See, today it's not so bright for me. So today is kind of like I guess my consciousness dropped a little bit more than a tad. So just assess it, because I'm going to show it to you again. And the mantra that we're going to do first, which is not the mantra that I put up, because I wanted to go directly to the best stuff, but we need to go to what is keeping you from getting, actually, that is the mantra, what you want, which is miserable emotions, which we all feel. So mantras are repeated in silence. Okay? You expel the breath through your mouth. I'm going to put a Fox Sensory Therapy music video on that has images, musical notes, and sounds that help to purify negative emotions. So go ahead and repeat this mantra. You can start it. It'll take me 30 seconds to get the video up. And this video is for your solar plexus, which is called the garbage can of emotions. And it is. It's also where you channel your personal power. So we're going to do 10 minutes, and I'm going to remember that you all started out collectively like this. And let's see where we go after 10 minutes. It's better. This is what you look like when you came in collectively. And this is what you look like now. You have some green mind streams, less black, third eye open, waiting. And then we have people that are angry at the audience, that they're angry that you're listening to me, that you're coming to this event. Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me that there would be people angry, because a lot of information that you're looking for has already been found. But the people that have it haven't been able to share it with you. And it hasn't been their fault. And I'm going to say something, and I hope I'm not putting myself in a place of danger. But when we look at people who were once one thing, and then all of a sudden they turn into something else, and we blame them and think that they sold themselves for money or power, you need to think about that again. There's an awful lot of blackmail going around, and it's not blackmail, we're going to take your bank account. It's against our families and our children, the things that we love the most. So I think we need to be kind to those people that presented as one thing for decades and all of a sudden turned, and not assume that they sold themselves for position, power, or for money. I want to remind you that I have the power of induction. This said by the military and the scientists that work with me when I was a child, which means that when you're in my energy field, including on a chat or on the phone or in person, my vibration raises your vibration. Particularly, it appears in psychic abilities. So you may find yourself continuing these chats and then stopping for whatever reason. I'm sure I can get redundant and it can get boring, and then find that your psychic skills go down. So I just wanted to remind you of that. And it's not something I can put in a bottle and sell to you or to give to you. You're getting it for free, but I cannot give it to you other than you being there. I'm just giving you information, and everything is your choice. So now we're going to go ahead and go directly to what's going to be a lot more fun. In working with the third eye, what I found was that people's third eyes are closed because of fear of something that happened or something that could happen. Like if their brother kicked the living daylights out of them when they were young, but they really adore their brother, they don't want to remember that, because we're not told that we are a planet of duality, and love and hate are part of the package. You can't ignore the hate, because you're not balanced, you're lopsided. When you ignore the hate, it means you're embracing and hanging on to the light for dear life. But if it's a balance and you're over here hanging on for dear life, it's not balanced. You have to accept the light and the dark. And the people that play out the darkness the most are the most evolved, because at some subconscious level, they know what they're doing, and it would not be their first choice. They're doing it to help the rest of us out. I'll go into that story at another point. We're not going to deviate. So, third eye, why would it be blocked? You were sexually abused or abused as a child, and you don't want to remember. You don't remember. It's not that you don't want to. You don't remember. Well, why don't you remember? Because you don't want to remember. Or you think people are wonderful and everything is about love, and all you have to do is throw love around and everything gets fixed. Well, if you believe that, chances are your third eye is not very open, because in order to believe that, live on planet Earth, that reality that we live in dark in the same place is there for a reason. It's for choice. Not really choosing light. If you're hanging on to light for dear life and you're blocking out darkness, that's not choosing light at all. You're supposed to choose, and that doesn't mean you jump into the darkness, but you have to be able to at least see it. If it's there, it's hard to make good decisions when you're not operating from full reality, which I think is what happened to this country. We wanted everything to be so beautiful, everything perfect, and everybody have everything, but that's just not. First place, what happened with karma? What happened with the things you need to learn? Anyway, not going to go into that either. So we're not going to do the first mantra that I would normally do, which is even though I don't want to see. In other words, that's why you can't see with your third eye. We're going to go directly into the important one, which is this one. Even though I'm afraid to be a master, I love and accept myself. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at Jesus Christ again. Okay, what's that all about? And then we go here. That's what it's all about. You will be king in your world. You will be on the top if you have your third eye fully operational and open. According to the Bible, you'll have access to heaven. According, I believe, Carl Jung, you will have the ability to know everything about everybody, all past, all present, and all future. It's total unblocked information. You have everything. Information is power. Information is also light. So this is great. So that mantra, which when I first wrote it, and here the spirits are bothering, okay, my ears are not dirty, it's the spirits, they're bothering. And remember, there's a portal here. When I first came up with this mantra, the dolphins were working with me, putting together the Kundalini mental yoga. I said, this is crazy. That doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, it does. It does. So that's the one we're going to do. We're going to cut to the chase. We're not going to take a side door. We're not going to take the long road. We're going directly to what the issue is. When you have all that information, then you have to make choices. You can't say, I didn't know. Yeah, you did know. Oh, I didn't know. So I just went along with what they told me. No. And we're in Revelation. So now that I think about it, it makes sense that the third eye at this point, everything about it is going to get unveiled. And then you have to get over all your conspiracy theories about that eye on the dollar bill and the Freemasons. I'm sure those guys did a lot of things to control everybody. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I agree with you. But this lack of trust, okay, don't become a Freemason and don't let them take over your life. But how about if you figure out why it is that they thought that that image was so important? And I think you're going to be very pleased with it. And that they put it on the dollar bill, which I know is so distressing to so many people. Actually, what they're saying is wisdom, because this is where wisdom comes. We want wisdom in your money. Let you be wise with your money. Hey, I want that. So do some independent thinking. Don't just go with the crowd, and especially a crowd that doesn't know anything about the other dimensions. Why on earth do they think that they can actually be judging accurately, pointing the finger or questioning? They can't. They don't have enough information. Don't do that. Find out more about those symbols. Okay, but let's start with the mantra, because I'm half Cuban. I can go on forever. So we're going to put on the sensory therapy music video that has to do with stimulating the upper chakras, which is where the third eye is. So you can go ahead and start, and we are going to do 15 minutes, okay? But we're already doing better. The sketch is better. You should feel better. And let's go here. going to give you a healing in your third eye. Take your breath to your third eye. Breathe into that, and I'm going to go into it and try and open it up. And if anybody does not want me to do that because they think it's invasive, all you have to do is have the intention that I not do that. Okay? Let's go. How are you feeling? From 1 to 10. You can tell from my voice I found it very relaxing. And the gold dress, how does it look? I am figuring some things out. First, let's show you guys. You arrived. This is collective sketch. Then we started the mantras, and there's a group that's angry at us for all of you getting together with me. Third eye started to show. That's what we're paying attention to. Mind streams green. Then we did the mantra for the third eye, and we got the protection of a triangle. That's what the pyramids were for, to protect the energy bodies of the powerful people that died, so that they would still be available on planet Earth. And now, with the mantra, look at this. These are the petals of the third eye energy center. And then yellow is the color of the solar plexus, but there's green around it, which means there's a healing going on. Left foot always with green at the bottom, which is good. And this says, oh, this was where I said I would open the third eye. And apparently I did, because I never sketched that. You can continue to develop your third eye and open it up by doing Om all day long. You can also go to our Facebook page, the one in Spanish, but I'm going to give you the link. And you can get these videos. They're free. Some of them are 10 hours long, so that you can use them to help you sleep at night, especially if you've got kids that have troubles, or if the house feels kind of weird, or there's been a lot of bad things happening and you need to kind of clean up the other dimensions. These videos are very good for that. But I was able to connect the dots on some important things having to do with human evolution, which is what this is all about. We have lived for 2,000 years at least under a paradigm that is based on hierarchy. So, power, which is the ability to do and to act, it is not abuse. It doesn't include abuse. People abuse power, but that's not included in the definition of the word power. The definition is the ability to do and the ability to act, which is what we all want. And the structure of power in other dimensions used to be a triangle. Here's the guy at the top, the Pope, and then all the cardinals and blah, blah, and then regular people down here. An example, sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. There's always sexual abuse. They wrote books about it 600 years ago. They had houses of prostitution. Come on. It wasn't talked about, or it was accepted, and that was it. Because the basis for power included a respect for authority regardless of what they did. Oh, okay, hey, that makes sense. This collapsed. Now it's a circle, but without that in the middle. Community. So the same things that have been done for centuries now are no longer acceptable, because we don't have the value of respecting authority, regardless of how hypocritical they are or how abusive. We're in a new paradigm. That's this new world. Okay, so until now, authorities, which ended up in the United States being a very crappy science that sold themselves, too many of them, to industry, and they became our religion. What they said we could believe. Archaeology. Oh no, man has only been for so many thousands of years, and then people come up and they prove that we're older than that, and they go, no. We said, and that's the way it is, and we have to accept. We have that whole argument going on now with this Graham, who has done an incredible job, and I don't know how many archaeologists got together, signed a petition and said that's not a documentary, because that's not established history. Well, in the new paradigm that's circular, there is no established anything. Everybody has the right to their opinion and to discover whatever, which is a really good thing. Hard to abuse that power when it's not concentrated in the few. But here's where I'm coming. Here's where I'm connecting the dots with the third eye. We were given information by authority figures in school, the teachers and presidents and the heads of our religions and the science, and we had to believe it. Even if there was this uneasiness, this is not right, but hey, come on. This is an agreed upon situation for humanity. That broke. Okay. So if we don't have to listen to authority anymore, and we don't, we're in revelations, which means all the information is coming out. Who do we listen to? Well, you know what? We have to listen to us. Oh, yeah, but I don't know that much about all these things. I've got to go to an authority figure. Actually, you don't, because this will deliver the information you need. That's why people like me can become consultants for big companies, for your cousin who's sick and the doctor can't quite figure it out. Her kid is having trouble in school, but he's bright. What's going on? Because we can get that information through our intention to know what's going on, because this is developed and not blocked. So this third eye fountain of information, it's totally necessary that it be unblocked for this new era on planet Earth, this new Earth. Because if we're no longer going to accept information without thinking from authority figures, where are we going to get the information? None of us has enough time to do all the research to find out who the new authority figure should be. They could be in Norway. Meanwhile, we don't know the language. We're here in the United States and we don't know the language. How do we do this? We don't have to do that. I think Carl Jung, as I said before, was the one who said, all past, all present, all future, for everything and everybody. We have that ability, and we do. So developing your third eye positions you really well at a very messy time when we are not really in between systems. Hierarchy has collapsed. That's why authority figures can't get away with things. And community has started, but we're not used to it. Now, people became very interested in setting up communities in the 90s in alternative medicine. And they would set up these little healing centers with a Reiki master and an aromatherapy, and none of them worked. Because the structure for community, which is circular in nature, wasn't strong enough yet. And people weren't used to that. And there was still the science that was saying whatever it is that in this country they might have been saying that wasn't necessarily based on legitimate results. And I'm so sorry if I'm very down on science, but everybody has their prejudices. So you have to have an ability to discern. You have to have an ability to find information. Now, the people that lived in caves had very developed third eyes. They knew from their cave up in the mountain when the animals were going to be at the river to drink water. And then they would be there or go down and would be able to find their food, kill the animal, and have food for the tribe. But not only that, and I know this because I have lived it, but it was told to me by a shaman, and I went, oh, yeah, I lived that. There would be a process of negotiations between those animals that would go to the river, knowing that they were going to be killed, and the hunters. The animals knew that the community, the humans, needed food. So they would go there. And the hunters in the caves would know that. It would be an unspoken in that language. Language is backward. Telepathy is what's important and is the original language of the planet. So the humans would have kind of like a negotiated agreement, or an agreement with the animals. And the animals were fine with it. Because once an animal is dead, it's so... In the first place, animals are group souls, and they individualize as they work with humans. Like if you get a pet, the soul in that pet will be individualized with its own characteristics having to do with its experiences and being with you and the whole 9 yards. But if it wasn't with you and it was just in the wild, it would just simply be part of a group soul. So if you kill the body of an animal, they're just going back to their group soul, or they're already connected to their group soul. All they lost was that miserable physical vehicle. These are called envelopes of consciousness. So back to what's important. We are in a new paradigm. It was said it would be a mess, but with the third eye, it doesn't matter what happens. You're going to have the information that you need. And when we visited yesterday the pyramids in the other dimensions to find out the information that the Mayans had left, that was the first information that I saw, which is that everybody, including the children, had beaming third eyes, like they had that search lamp on their heads. And they would get information and share it, and it was accepted and believed that helped to protect the family and to keep them out of danger. That's what we need to do. We need to be able to know. Knowledge is power. Information is power. Information is light. And it has been so manipulated, nobody even knows what the truth is anymore. But it's not so difficult to find out, because God made us with that ability to know. So we will be back here on Monday, unless interesting things happen over the weekend. This whole war, there was a war, there's not a war, they attacked, they didn't attack. I think what we all know is that there's just too many different places where we're too broken, and too many different people and organizations that need a war. So we're all kind of prepared for that. And that's why I think that when you got here today, everybody looked like this. And then, now that you're leaving, I'm very proud to say, collectively, you're looking like this. Thank you for joining me. I'm FRANCESFOX.